Yeah, well, John, obviously a good win against Melbourne City to start off your season. How did all the players pull up from that game? Do you have any sore bodies that are going to be a concern for the Western Sydney game?
No, no concerns. What was that, Anna? Yeah, yeah, no, his hamstring is fine. It was just a bit of cramp, which a few boys had because it was their first real competitive game since the cup game, which was a couple of months earlier. So it was normal that they were going to be fatiguing towards the end, but we we're pleased with the way they ran out the game. Just a couple of cramps, but they've recovered well. They've had a good week of training so far, so again, looking forward to another good game, big test, and should be. It's a night game, so I'm sure they'll be fresh and ready to go.
And how's Nikita coming along? Obviously, he arrived late in pre-season. What's his fitness like?
He's going along really well. If he not involved this week, which we're not 100% sure yet, then he'll definitely be involved next week because he's looking good. He's moving well. Yeah, just lacks game time, obviously, because he didn't play any friendly games, and so we might have to get that a little bit early on during the season, and then from there he should be fine. But he's looking sharp.
What sort of role do you envision him playing when he is able to start seeing the field? Obviously, you probably have to start coming off the bench early, but can you, like with as was the case last year with Prijovic and Botic, can you play two strikers up top with Nikita? Is that what
Yeah,
you're sort of planning to do?
yeah, we're planning to play two strikers up top. Even though Lockie's not a natural striker, last week he played up top with Noah, and they combine really well. So whether it's those two, whether Nikita starts, there's competition for places, which is great. It's also that we've got opportunities to bring on fresh players from the bench and create real impact. And I felt that we did that last week when Roos came on. He gave us some impact, and also with Rami Nazarene. So we started to have some players that will give us a lot of impact coming in off the bench and also starting. That we're very mobile up there, and I spoke to you about how we can press for longer periods, how we can really move the opposition, and threaten in behind when we have to. So that goes with the players that we've got at the moment. Oh, you still take bits out of it because the way that they set up and their structure as a team, the way they move. I thought they were dangerous at times, and they've got good players, really good players. I thought that Hendricks showed that he'll be a good player for this league. He's played at a very high level, over 250 games for PSV. They got Brilliante in there, who's very experienced. They got experience at the back, experience up top, and good players up top. So we played against them just before the end of pre-season, so we know a little bit about them. They know a little bit about us, and they're a good team. They press really well. They press. Their triggers are good on their press. So we have to be aware of that. They got players that are willing to run, and they got quality. So they're a good side.
I mean, on the subject of familiarity, obviously there's the Rudan link there, your predecessor at Western, but there's also Dylan Correa started for the Wanderers last week, and Nicholas Milanovic, who probably flashed some of their most dangerous signs. Very, very familiar opponents for your defence, especially to get to terms with again.
Yeah, look, we know both Dylan and Milo really well, so we don't have to speak too much about them. But in the pre-game or in the analysis, we know their qualities, we know what they're good at, their strengths. So we have to be aware of that. But it's not only them. If Ninkovic is back in this week, we know the quality of Ninkovic, we know the quality of Barello and Antonsen. So we know that they've got good players, and we just have to be aware of all of them.
Because Milo, he was one that you maybe didn't want to lose, but he homesick wanted to get back to Western Sydney. That was behind that move, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Look, Milo, he was here for a few years, very young when he arrived. Missed home, missed his family, and the opportunity arose for him to go back home. So we understood that. And Dylan, we would have liked him to have stayed. We decided to go elsewhere. So we also accept that as part of football. We respect players that. Want to see what else is out there, and they move on. But they're two players that they had a good time here. Milo really improved over that short period when I was here, and started the last season really well, and then scored a lot of goals for us. And Dylan, we knew that in some games the impact that he had, he was hard to stop.
How big an opportunity is this for Daniel Pena? We know how well set up the Wanderers are defensively. To have a player like that who, as we got a little glimpse of the other day, who sort of unlocked the defence. I mean, it's a big moment for him, right?
Yeah, look, every game he'll keep on improving. We weren't sure how he would cope with his first start for so long. In terms of being out for so long, he hadn't played a lot of competitive football in the last 12 months. That was his first start, but he showed glimpses of what he's all about, and when he's not playing so well, he's still working hard for the team, and that's really important. But he's someone that can make something happen, like you saw with Lockie's goal. That it was an unbelievable ball, the way to pass, and probably only he can see that and deliver that. And so we expect that from him. That he would be able to do that the majority of the season.
Is this an opportunity for you? I mean, coming into this season, you've got Melbourne City in round one, the Wanderers in round two, two teams that in a lot of pre-season predictions were predicted as championship contenders. You've come out and you've beaten Melbourne City. Like a win now over the Wanderers, is that an opportunity to, I guess, maybe remind people, that we're here too, we're contenders, we won the title not too long ago, and maybe announce yourselves, given that you might have flown under the radar a bit?
No, we go about our business the way that we will, and that we understand that there's others that would be classed as favourites to win it. We understand where we're at and what we're trying to achieve, and we'll just take it. I know it's an old cliche, but we just have to keep on improving and take each match as it comes, because we know that every game is hard. A lot of people wouldn't have predicted Central Coast Mariners to win it last year. A lot of people wouldn't have predicted us to win it the year before. So we understand, but we're confident with what we're building, and we're confident in the squad we have that we can be competitive.
James Donaghy, he missed last week. Is he injured or just on the mix at the moment?
No, he pulled up with a calf sort of slight injury from the Adelaide trip just before the season started. So he'll be unlikely to be involved again this week, but he should be ready round three.
I mean, is it a case of he'll have to wait a bit, given the track didn't really put too many feet wrong in that game, and he was even popping up at the other end with a few moments?
Yeah, look, that's what we want. We want competition for places. We know that the season, things will happen. There'll be players getting injured like Donachie did, and we expect whoever steps into their place to do well. So again, we don't know what's going to happen past this week. So we just have to make sure that all the players are fit and ready to go, and when they get their opportunity, they take it.
Okay. We're all good. Oh, we're just talking to Bruno Fornaroli. Do you reckon the young guys like Noah Bothage, Waddingham, are spurring him on? Is it good just to see so many strikers arriving? And
No.
I know it's only one round in, but it's
Yeah.
pretty exciting for this man.
Yeah, no, I spoke to Joey about this last week. He asked me the same question, and it's great to see. We haven't seen this for a while in the A League. I can't remember the last time I saw so many young strikers coming through, and not only just coming through and making impacts, starting games and performing and doing well. So that's exciting for not only the league but for Australian football, because we know over the past 10 so years that we probably lacked a little bit, of competition up top to really push those Socceroos places. So, if these players keep on developing, which I believe they will, in the A-League we've seen in the past, players develop to a level that they can go represent the Socceroos. So that's exciting. And, for us, it's exciting to have one of those players.
Do you think that's also going to spur on like a Bruno, Jamie McLaren, even a Nikita at Western, that striker's mindset, like just the striker's mindset, like not wanting to be supplanted, that's going to make them better as well?
Yeah, of course, and you saw with Bruno, probably not a lot of people spoke about him in pre-season, and is Bruno past it or whatever, and he pops up round one and scores a good goal. So that's just the way the strikers are. Jamie McLaren didn't score against us, one was disallowed, but then he, again last night pops up and scores a goal. Those strikers they're born to score goals, and it will just give them that extra incentive to say, look, you still got a bit to go to beat us.
Not a lot of strikers become coaches, John. We have to ask you all these questions
Yeah.
because everybody else is like a defender or
Well
something.
said, Max.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think that there's no strikers in the league, ex-strikers that are coaches, but
I for a bit last year, but
Yeah.
I'll say the reason why most strikers don't become coaches is because most strikers are pretty selfish. And as a coach, you can't be selfish. What's that?
just scoring the goal. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, guys.